Eurozone warning. Deflation fears hound EU economy after collapse in global energy prices. The inflation in the Eurozone is growing in the European Central Bank after falling to its lowest level in 4 years in the midst of a collapse in global energy prices in May. And the fear of landing causes deflation. Inflation in the monetary region fell from 0.3% in April to 0.1% annually. The figures show that energy prices fell 12% year-on-year to 9.7% in April. Food, alcohol, and tobacco prices decreased by 3.3% in May and decreased by 3.6% in April. The fourth consecutive month decrease in the headline inflation rate will increase the pressure on the ECB and prevent the region from shifting to deflation. Economists predict that the Eurozone will fall into the feared region this year, despite the major incentive efforts by EU central bankers. Core inflation, which strips out energy, food, alcohol and tobacco, was steady at 0.9%, but economists played down its significance and warned the preliminary reading is captured using limited data. Jessica Hinds, European economist at Capital Economics, said the further fall in Eurozone inflation in May took the headline rate to within a whisker of zero, and downward pressure on prices is set to persist while demand remains weak and unemployment rises. Looking ahead, our forecast for oil prices to recover suggests that the drag from energy inflation on the headline rate should now start to ease. But the core rate is unlikely to hold up for much longer in the face of the collapse in aggregate demand and subsequent slow recovery, as well as rising unemployment. So the European Central Bank's below but close to 2% target will look even further out of reach, keeping the pressure on the bank. And with economic output set to remain below pre-virus levels for the next couple of years, the ECB will keep policy ultra loose for the foreseeable future. ING economist Bert Collins said the severe economic fallout is having a deflationary effect, which means the ECB is likely to stay in a crisis fighting mode for some time to come. The data leave little to argue about the strategic course for the ECB. Eurostat data showed that Belgium, Ireland, Greece, Spain, Italy, and Portugal were deflated in May, and prices rose in more flexible economies of Germany, France, and the Netherlands. Christoph Weil from Commerzbank warned that the data is more ambiguous than normal and said that many prices could not be determined locally due to corona restrictions. The ECB met at an important time next week in the Eurozone's fight against the economic fallout of the coronavirus. There is a high probability of deleting a recent decision by the German Constitutional Court from 2015, which criticizes the bond buying program and further accelerates bond purchases to promote inflation. The coronavirus crisis has raised the fantasy of deflation in an already fragile Eurozone economy. Deflation occurs when prices continue to chase each other and are hard to stop. As investment dries, companies fail and triggers a vicious spiral that can quickly paralyze the economy as unemployment increases. Most of the idea, comment, information, and criticism containing in these videos have been created by Daily News Report. Before making any important investment decision, use the information contained in these videos as a starting point for conducting your own research. If you make any investment or legal decision, it is advised to consult an expert before making this decision.